Dragon Ball Super Episode 51. Japanese title, Tokyo Koeta Omoi, Toronksu Tomai, which translates to Feelings That Transcend Time, Trunks and Mai. Now, last week's episode was really action-packed, and it was a fun time. This week was more focused on character development for Trunks, for Mai, and even for Black a little bit. But I think we need to have episodes like that. I think we need to have episodes where they develop these characters because Trunks is now back and a lot of stuff's happened. So we did find out some pretty interesting things here. I really enjoyed this episode. It was a nice little kind of refreshing, kind of slower paced episode, and it did kind of build the world up more. I think Super's pacing during the Universe 6 arc was really, really fast, and I thought the pacing during the Battle of Gods arc was really, really slow. But I think with this arc so far, the pacing is just right, in my opinion. So, the episode begins with them talking about Cell's time machine that Bulma kept. Of course, the cliffhanger last week was that Bulma had kept the time machine, and it's interesting because they go to this, like, discolored flashback, and I'm kind of smiling at this because the flashback was, you know, kind of black and whitish, and I'm wondering if they're doing that because they didn't want people asking about Trunks' hair again. Who knows? Did a video on that, but anyways, very interesting. It was essentially a flashback, but it wasn't Takai footage. It was like newly redrawn animation, and essentially we find out that Bulma got the time machine, Cell's time machine, from Trunks the day before he went back to the future, way back in the Cell Saga. So that's a good little reveal right there as to why she had it. And then she talks about how she wanted to research on how to actually fix the time machine and maybe make it work, but she just forgot all about it. So that's pretty much what happened there. I guess she got lazy or whatever. There was this funny little shot of Goku like looking around the time machine, which I thought was pretty cool. And they kept making a big deal about, you know, the time machine being with Hope being written on it. Now, I did a video I want everybody to check out when you get done with this review about who really wrote Hope on the time machine, because a lot of people, including me, thought that it was Bulma, because in the dub and in the sub they said it was Bulma, but actually it was not Bulma. It was a translation error even in the subbed version. So definitely check that video out when you get done with this review. The description down below will have the link. Anyways, so Goku asked Beerus, well, actually, I should mention one thing. Bulma's going to repair the time machine, okay? So she's going to try. She's going to give it a shot. Goku asked Whis and Beerus for more training because he wants to fight Black again. And, of course, Beerus and Whis don't like this whole playing around with time again. But there's something about that damn time ring that keeps bugging Beerus, which we're going to get to a little bit later on. I did a video with Herms also last week I want you guys to check out. I don't want this to turn into a bunch of plugs, but I got content for you guys that I know you'll like. Herms and I talked about the time ring and the rules of it, so there you go. Also, there have been spoilers, okay, because Beerus keeps thinking about the time ring. Down below in the comment section, I have detailed spoilers for the next 3 episodes of Super, 52 to 54. If you don't want to be spoiled, avoid that. I will not spoil them for you here on this review, but I have links down below if you want to know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Not everything is spoiled, but there is a general idea of what's going on. So, back to the review. Vegeta goes to train in the gravity room. Goku goes back to Kaiosama. So we cut to the future. Very interesting here. Black is thinking about Goku, and they have this weird scene where you see his body like flash, and you see him in Goku's gi, like Goku's like classic like orange and reddish kind of gi. You see his body like shift into it. This is going to be the talk of the town this week, guys. People are going to be talking about all their different theories about what this could mean. Now, Herms on Twitter, he tweeted out that he thought that his theory is that them showing Goku's regular body over Black's is just like a symbolic thing, and that could very well be the case. So if you're gonna run away with these theories, remember we don't know anything yet, but that could be the case. So Black is very curious about Goku and wants to fight him again because he's getting stronger. So he has some of Goku's traits. Again, interesting villain, very interesting villain. Maybe the most interesting one we've had in a long time. I would even say the most interesting one since Frieza, in my opinion. Of course, the arc's not over yet, but in my opinion, this guy's very intriguing. because there's all this mystery behind him, right? And I really love the mystery. I love that we are now 5 episodes into this arc and we still don't know anything about this guy. Like, I like that. Or is it 4 episodes? Whatever. So, very interesting. He starts to blow up some shit around him, whatever. So then they have this really awesome scene where Bulma's parents come back from vacation. They see Trunks and Trunks next to each other, and of course Bulma's mom recognizes future Trunks, and of course Bulma needs her dad's help to fix the time machine. Now, those of you who read Jaco the Galactic Patrolman, the manga, there is a time machine being built there by a guy named Omori, and I'm wondering if they're going to reference that here. We've already seen Jaco. They actually put Tights in the closing song of Super. You can see her in the closing animation. Will we see Tights and Omori come back? Those of you who have not read the Jaco manga, highly recommended. Go to eBay. It's only about $12. Definitely pick it up. You'll love it if you're a Dragon Ball fan. Very, very funny. Anyways. So, I'm wondering, Bulma and her dad are obviously going to rebuild this thing. So, Pilaf makes a joke about him using the time machine for his own selfish needs or whatever. And then we have this whole sequence, which is pretty much what the episode's about Trunks and Mai, where Trunks is explaining about Mai from the future. And after hearing that Pilaf's, friend is Mai or whatever, he recognizes her. And they have this really cute, scene where he, holds her hand and she's blushing, and Kid Trunks is like, what the fuck? Am I trying to cock block myself? That's the way I perceive that scene. I'm going to rewatch it with subs so I can really get what was going on, but that's the way I perceived it anyways. So, Trunks tells the story of future Mai, and what we find out here that we didn't know before is that when Black first arrived, he wiped out half of humanity, and then Mai began like a task force of freedom fighters, like a resistance. Have you heard that before? To combat Black, of humans with guns and things like that. And the way that they shot this flashback, the way they animated it, the way the music was, guys, we've talked about how Toriyama, I've talked about it on this channel, how Toriyama is heavily influenced by James Cameron's Terminator. Yo, this guy's this sounded like the Kyle Reese speech that Kyle gives to Sarah, right? Except that I feel like Mai is a combination of Sarah Connor and John Connor. It's crazy as to how many, the tone and the homage to Terminator is there. It's there. It's so obvious. I love it. I love it because I love Terminator. So we still don't have an explanation about why she looks so young in the future. I may do a video about this with my 2 theories, but I'm going to wait for the subs to come out to really get a good grasp of it. Of course, they have a scene where they fight Black with guns and bombs, and that can't do shit, you know what I mean? So Mai led the resistance or whatever. Real good animation, like I said. She tries to bomb Black, but, regular weapons don't work. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't learned this already, that it's these superpowered beings aren't going to go down to a bullet, right? So Trunks talks about, the first time he ever faced Black, and pretty much Black kicked his ass. And there's this interesting scene that I hope gets expounded upon, where Black talks about how he's traveled through several worlds and destroyed many, and sees human beings as failures. A little bit more motivation here about what's going on. Very curious to see where this goes. We also find out from Trunks that in the future there are no more Senzus because Karin is not around. He didn't say that Karin is dead, though. At least I didn't hear him say that, nor did Herms translate that. So I don't know. And of course, so Trunks almost got his ass kicked, which I thought was pretty cool. Him losing to Black, that is. So, of course, Mai's blushing. Kid Trunks is like, what the fuck? And then they ask him, okay, what happened to Mai? And then he pretty much says, well, she died, which is kind of shocking. He also says he never met the future version of Pilaf or Shu. So, I don't think they would have mentioned that without us finding out what happened to the future Pilaf and Shu later on, which I really, really hope that we get the future Pilaf and Shu. Then they play this Sumitomo. During this scene, Sumitomo plays this really interesting, background song that sounds like the Back to the Future song, like the slow violin from the Back to the Future movies. Let me know if you picked up on that in the comment section. It really sounded like that. So the episode pretty much ends with Beerus being very curious about Black's time ring. He just can't let it go. And then Beerus and Whis both talk about how they felt Black's key somewhere before. And that's the cliffhanger. Guys, I really hope this eventually leads to a Beerus versus Black fight. Let me know in the comment section down below if you agree with me on that one, because that would be great if Beerus actually gets challenged by Black. Next week, in the next episode preview, tons of stuff. We actually see Zamasu. It is the debut of Zamasu on Dragon Ball Super at last. We see Saiyaman, Gohan, and Trunks reunite, and we actually have a flashback of future Gohan. So it's like they're doing the whole Trunks special, but they're reanimating it. So I'm guessing we're going to get like more of a reminder of who that is and what happened. But of course, all you guys watching this are probably hardcore Dragon Ball fans, so you remember. And Beerus and Whis go off somewhere, and Goku goes off with them. There's already spoilers about where they're going out. I'm not going to reveal it in this video. I got a link down below to that. Thank you for checking out my review. Let me know your thoughts on the video, or on the episode, excuse me. I will be rewatching it later this week, and maybe seeing if I can do a tidbit or something. We'll see what happens. But should be a good time. Thank you again for supporting the channel. And subscribe if you haven't. Like the video if you like the review. And definitely let me know down below, again, what you thought. And check out the videos I have in the description, because I think you'll enjoy them a lot. The Butterfly Effect, the Super Spoilers, and Who Wrote Hope on the Time Machine. I hope each and every one of you have a great rest of your weekend. I will talk to you soon.